voice for everyone. KSHB 41 News starts right now.
Students in Olathe head back to the classroom today.
We're going over what's going to be different this year and hearing how parents feel about those changes, too.
I feel comfortable sending them off and getting the best education.
And I'm tracking the high heat and humidity today as kids head back to the classroom. Also looking at our severe weather risk this evening.
I'm John Matteries with so few homes for sale. Buyers are getting outbid over and over and over again. Is there anything you can do if you're in the market for a home? That story coming up.
But first, a formal remembrance of fallen officer Jonah Oswald will start tonight and extend through early next week.
Oswald served under the Fairway Police Department, was killed in the line of duty after a shootout at a Quick Trip in Mission on Sunday morning. He died a day later. We've heard from people all across the community mourning this loss.
Inside that uniform, there is a father, there's a husband, there's a brother, there's a son, there's a nephew.
Services to honor Officer Oswald will begin tonight at 7:30. There'll be a parade of police vehicles riding down Metcalf Avenue in Overland Park. They'll head to Harmon Park in Prairie Village, where there'll be a candlelight vigil for Officer Oswald and his family, expected to start around 9 o'clock tonight. On Sunday, the visitation is from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Westside Family Church, and then the memorial will be at that same church at 11 o'clock on Monday morning. We'll have live coverage of that if you'd like to watch on Monday. This loss particularly hard on the Fairway Police Department, of course. It's the first officer they've ever had die in the line of duty, and it's not a large department either.
And we heard yesterday from the Fairway Police Chief for the first time since Oswald's death. He says the department didn't just lose an officer, they lost someone in their family.
Jonah was an amazing officer. He always wanted to be the first one in. He was bright, funny, and most of all, brave.
And the 29-year-old leaves behind a wife and 2 children. And there are several fundraisers to help support Officer Oswald's family. If you want to donate, we have information on how you can do that on KSHB.com.
Let's get to Lindsay Anderson now for your forecast, because we are expecting some storms tonight, potentially. We're in for a hot day first, though.
And I just heard her say, are we still in a heat advisory, Lynn? What's the latest?
Yes, you guys, heat advisory still in place.
Okay.
You can see those counties up to the Kansas City metro included in that. Very quiet skies on our radar and satellite imagery between.
All right, Deja, thank you very much. Today is the first day of school for some students in Olathe Public Schools. New this year, safety devices installed in every classroom throughout the Olathe district that serve as a barricade in the case of a lockdown.
Let's get to KSHB 41 News reporter Daniela Leon live this morning outside Olathe Northwest. So, Daniela, these devices, not necessarily new to the district, but they will be to students walking in this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Taylor and Lindsay. Well, students here at Olathe Northwest for freshmen class will start here around 8 o'clock or so. So in a couple of hours, they will be coming here. And when they go into their classrooms, like you guys mentioned, they will be greeted by these night lock devices. Take a look at your screen. Here's what they look like. They're these L-shaped red brackets that teachers place behind classroom doors during a lockdown and block anyone from being able to enter inside a classroom. Now, these door security devices are new to the district. A couple years ago, they were first installed inside elementary school classrooms and now are visible all throughout the district. So we talked to parents who tell us the devices just simply gives them peace of mind.
I need teachers to focus on teaching my students and I need teachers to focus on teaching my kids and others' kids and not worry about the security. So if things are just already in place, that they have different measures and they know what to do and know the protocol, that just puts me at ease to let my children go, have fun, learn, and just be better humans.
And we also talked to teachers who also agree that these devices put them at ease as well. You'll hear from them coming up in just a couple of minutes. They also are having conversations with their students about how those devices will work during a lockdown and, most importantly, how to keep them calm and safe. Reporting in Olathe, Danielle Leon, KSHB 41 News. Back to you.
Simultaneously so important and something that no person at the school really wants to have to think about for too long, Daniela. But what other safety measures are in place in the district this year?
Yeah, well, new to the district are additional security cameras that they have implemented at certain schools, along with additional electronic doors. And when it comes to checking in and going inside a school building during school hours, that process, it's a lot longer and a lot more, how would I describe it, like more intense, if you will, because when we signed in to do this story, we had to drop off our licenses and they had to just vet for us. So it's a lot more security measures than what you're used to. But again, it's just something that's really top of mind for this school district.
Danielle Leone live for us this morning in Olathe. Danielle, thank you very much. One of this year's biggest concerns is getting kids to school, as there's a bus driver shortage right now. Because of that, the Olathe School District has new transportation policies in place. Transportation is free for students who live 2.5 miles or more away from their particular school, and for students who qualify for the federal free and reduced lunch program. There is a pay ride option as well in Olathe. Elementary age students who live between 1 and 2.5 miles away from school, part of the group that qualifies for that.
Did you know the Highway Patrol in Kansas and Missouri inspects thousands of school buses every year? The Kansas Highway Patrol showed me what they do.
We're here while they're doing inspections in Olathe. Let's hop on and see what they look for.
So Lieutenant Jesse Johnson is here showing us, what do you look for inside a bus to make sure it's safe?
When a trooper enters the bus, the first thing we're looking for is the safety equipment that's going to be readily accessible to the driver should a roadside emergency occur. So we're going to be looking for the fire extinguisher. We're going to make sure it's fully charged and ready to go. We next move up to the safety equipment box. Here, we'll pop that open. We're going to be looking for a body fluid cleanup kit because sometimes we get the sick kiddos on the bus. And then also we're looking for the first aid kit and make sure that's installed.
Okay, Lieutenant Johnson, what happens if a bus does not pass?
We don't sign off on it, meaning it can't be put into service until that defect or failure has been addressed and has been fixed, at which point we'll cycle the buses back through, we'll re-inspect it, and then the bus is ultimately allowed to continue.
That same day, you have people here
that same day, yes.
Right in front of you?
Yes, the mechanics for the school bus companies are on scene and they work alongside of us. So as we come across those defects, we'll point those out. They'll take the bus over to the shop. They'll make that correction. They'll send it back out to us. We'll verify that it's been made, and then the bus is allowed to be put into service for the school year.
I know you guys do this every year, but this is still vitally important, right? Kids are on this bus. How seriously do you take this?
We take this very serious. This is obviously our children, yours, mine, the citizens of Kansas. They're riding these school buses, and ultimately this is the future of our country, so we want to see them stay safe, and we want to see them grow up and prosper.
And how many buses are you inspecting just in Olathe today?
Just in Olathe today, we're inspecting 240 buses. That's just today.
Wow. Well, that's good, right?
Absolutely, that's good, because that alarms the driver and indicates that that window's been opened. But the reason why these are here, say if this bus, heaven forbid, was involved in a crash and students needed to exit quickly, they have 2 exits along the side. We also have the emergency exits on the roof, as well as the rear door.
Last year, Kansas Highway Patrol inspected 10,812 buses across the state. And this year, you'll find that safety inspection sticker, it's red this school year, on the driver's side of the windshield. Lindsay Shibley, KSHB 41.
That's a working horn they found on that bus. I checked in with the Missouri State Highway Patrol, too. So listen to this. In 2022, they inspected more than 11,000 school buses statewide, more than 2,300 here in Troop A, that's around KC. They do their inspections February through April and then spot checks at the beginning of the year. And last year, just in Troop A, they said they put 68 buses out of service after inspections. Thanks for that tour.
Honestly, you got to be thankful that they're able to do it.
They're looking. It's important.
They will knock them out of there. As other districts get ready to send kids back to class, the Guadalupe Center's Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Kansas City and Matty Rhodes are partnering to provide school supplies to more than 300 kids. The event will target the west side neighborhood of Kansas City, Missouri. The supplies will be given out at the Guadalupe Center on Bellevue Avenue coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
All right, 6:10 this morning. Chiefs going to be back at training camp today in St. Joe after having the day off yesterday. Practice starts at 9:15. We're going to hear from head coach Andy Reid after practice.
This is one of 4 remaining practices that
Here we
people can go for training camp. If you make it out today, you'll also be able to get an autograph from the Chiefs linebackers signing today. It's their last practice before their first preseason game. That's coming up against the Saints in New Orleans on Sunday. The players, of course, going to need some fuel for that trip, and that is why Zarda Barbecue feeding the team at training camp today. Ooh. We were there when they were meal prepping to feed the Chiefs for the 35th year. Look at these sandwiches.
Saucy.
Zarda's chief operating officer says there's a new addition to this year's catering menu, a Memphis dry rub rib.
That is not on the menu. That is an item that the Chiefs will get to experience first. Based on the reaction, it may make its way onto the menu in October.
Yet another reason it's good to be Patrick Mahomes, right? Kickoff for Sunday's game is at noon in New Orleans. Of course, you can watch the game right here on KSHB 41, your home of the Chiefs. We also have pregame and postgame shows. Our pregame show starts on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Tune in for that. Friday morning means Deja is on a one-tank trip. Coming up at 6:18, she's showing us power play in the Northland.
Severe weather risk ramping up later this evening. We're going to look closer at the timing when they move into your area next.
And at 6:14, the death toll from wildfires burning in Hawaii going up overnight. We'll have an update right after the break. 6:14 this morning. Now we know at least 55 people have died in Hawaii because of wildfires burning across Maui. The Hawaii governor says the wildfire crisis will likely become the deadliest natural disaster in their state history. The fire that destroyed Lahaina is now 80% contained. Firefighters making progress against the other two major fires on the island.
5 Americans who are detained in Iran have been moved out of prison and placed under house arrest. It's part of a tentative deal between the Middle Eastern country and the U.S. Iranian officials want billions of dollars to become available in exchange for the Americans' freedom, but the funds are frozen in South Korea because of U.S. sanctions right now.
The Supreme Court is temporarily blocking a $6 billion bankruptcy settlement involving opioid maker Purdue Pharma. Under the agreement, the family that previously controlled the company would have been protected from liability lawsuits. The High Court expected to hear oral arguments on the matter in December.
Here's your latest Kansas City forecast from meteorologist Lindsay Anderson.
6:15 here on this Friday morning.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. It's Friday, which means it's time for another one-tank trip. This week, I'm showing you a family-owned and operated business in the Northland that has all sorts of indoor amusement. Take a look. All right, so we're here at Power Play in North Kansas City, where they've got games, they've got food, they've got amusement all inside. Let's go check it out.
We have been around for almost 20 years in Kansas City. We have 50,000 square feet of air-conditioned fun. We have an indoor roller coaster. Over 150 arcade games. Highway 66 bowling, tilt-a-whirl. And for those that do get out in the heat, we have the outdoor go-karts and zip line.
Okay, so we just left Power Play, and we're walking right next door to the Sandbox at Power Play. Sandbox at Power Play is exactly what it sounds like. One big sandbox full of fun.
We offer sand volleyball, pickleball, cornhole, yard games. We have the area's largest upper rooftop deck. And then we have the restaurant down here in our lower level. It is 21 and over after 10 o'clock. The upper deck is also 21 and over. This is our Sandbox Sampler. Oh. It is definitely by far one of our most popular dishes.
I can see why.
Yeah, it has a little bit of everything. Our spinach and artichoke dip, our pretzel, wings, and made fresh egg rolls.
Visit Power Play and the Sandbox at Power Play and have as much fun as you want with yummy food and plenty to do. For One Tank Trips, Deja Jones, KSHB 41 News.
Kids bumper cars.
I mean, did you see anything that you can't do?
No, and I've driven by that a million times. It's across from where Metro North used to be.
Yes, exactly.
It's amazing.
Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. We could just spend all day there.
What if I want to drop my kids off at Power Play and I walk next door to
That's
the
a great
Sandbox
question,
at Power Play?
and I think that you should do exactly that.
Okay.
I give you permission. The best part is that you walk in there and it's free to go in, and then you put, a little purchase a card for $1.
Yeah.
You put as much money as you want on it.
That's
Love
great.
it. Yeah. Well, okay, if you want to check out any other of my one-tank trips, just go to our website, kshb.com. There you'll find this awesome map with all these little stars, which represent adventures.
That's right.
Adventure stars.
6:20 on your Friday morning. Are you in the housing market right now? It's probably frustrating for a lot of people. Next to 6:24, our consumer reporter, John Matarese, breaking down what you can maybe consider as you continue your search. And local school districts working to make sure kids are going to be able to get to class this year. Coming up at 6:34, how the Lee Summit District says they're doing when it comes to bus driver staffing.
And be sure to tune into the WNBA tonight on ION. The Chicago Sky tips off against the New York Liberty at 7. Washington Mystics versus Las Vegas Aces at 9. You can watch the WNBA Friday nights all season long on ION. That's channel 50 here in Kansas City. Welcome back. 6:24 this morning. Higher mortgage rates not doing current home buyers any favors, especially if they had a lower rate with their other home.
Absolutely not. But bidding wars are heating up for affordable homes right now. Consumer reporter John Matarese looks at what's proving to be a really frustrating season for buyers, so you don't waste your money.
So many homeowners locked into low mortgage rates right now are choosing to stay in their home instead of selling. And that is making this a very difficult time for home buyers. Carol Rayheim has been going through homes and dreaming of buying a place like this for over a year.
I'm ready to start cooking.
But her dreams have been dashed over and over.
Beautiful Ranch was our first offer.
She and her husband keep getting outbid, even when offering above asking price.
Right now, it's really a big letdown.
It happened again and again.
And then we made 2 other offers and just wasn't successful.
Her realtors, Denise and Stephen Taylor, say with so few homes for sale, it can be a frustrating battle to win a bidding war.
There's still not a lot out there, so there's definitely more buyers looking than there are homes for sale.
Why? Current homeowners with low mortgage rates are staying put, with newly listed homes on the decline for 56 weeks.
They're sitting on 3%, 2.5%. So they're thinking, why should I sell?
Plus, mortgage rates are hovering near 7%. The median monthly payment listed on loan applications was more than $2,100 in May, up 14% from a year ago.
Look at your credit report. See what your credit standing is.
Nathan Grant of Money Tips says focus on what you can control. He says remove unnecessary monthly expenses to save for a down payment and consult with a mortgage professional about what you can afford.
It's all even more important when the markets are like this.
Denise and Stevens say it's essential to be pre-approved for a loan and be prepared to bid above asking price, although it may not be enough.
It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
And that way you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
Some students in the Olathe School District have their first day back today.
Can you believe it? We're already here. Straight ahead at 6:33, we're going to go over some changes to bus policies in that district.
2 rounds of severe storms in the next 3 days. We'll be focusing on this evening and again Sunday evening, breaking it all down for you next.
And crews are out here bright and early this morning, getting to work on the Blue Springs Water Park. Coming up, we'll take you inside what you can expect next summer.
A voice for everyone. KSHB 41 News starts right now.
It's an exciting morning for thousands of Olathe families. This is the first day of school for most of their kiddos.
Exciting for the parents, mostly exciting for the students. Last year, the district made changes to deal with the shortage of bus drivers. We heard from parents then about how it was impacting them.
I just can't imagine the position that some families find themselves in, scrambling to find that transportation.
No one wants to know that their kid was left standing on the corner waiting on a bus that never showed up or showed up super late.
Absolutely not. That's the last thing you want. We'll go over those changes that parents can expect coming up. But first, let's start this half hour with formal remembrance services for a fallen Fairway police officer. Those will actually start tonight and continue through early next week.
And the community continues to grieve for Officer Jonah Oswald, who died after a shootout at a Quick Trip in Mission. People tell us the tragedy has them shocked.
Hugely emotional thing for everybody that either experienced him and knew him or knows of this tragedy, because it's one that reaches out and touches everybody's hearts.
And tonight at 7:30, you will see this parade of police vehicles, first responders riding down Metcalf Avenue in Overland Park, heading to Harmon Park and Prairie Village, where there will be a candlelight vigil for the fallen officer. They expect that vigil to start around 9 o'clock. And then on Sunday, there will be a visitation from 5 to 8 at Westside Family Church. The memorial service will be at the same location at 11 a.m. on Monday.
This loss also particularly hard for the Fairway Police Department, of course. It's the first officer in that department's history to die in the line of duty. And as we've reported, there's fewer than a dozen officers in the entire department.
What a close-knit group, right? And yesterday we heard from the Fairway Police Chief for the first time since the tragedy. Here's what he says about Officer Oswald.
He's never going to be forgotten because he's going to live on through all of us because we're a family. and we'll always be a family.
And he also leaves behind, the 29-year-old leaving behind a wife and 2 children. There are several fundraisers to try to support Officer Oswald's family. If you'd like to donate, we have information on how you can do that at KSHB.com.
It's just after 6:30 now on your Friday morning, 73 degrees outside. Let's look out live over Kansas City. A beautiful start to your Friday morning, but August is still in full swing, and we're going to get very hot again today.
Now let's get to meteorologist Lindsay Anderson. What's it going to feel like today?
Yeah, you guys, we've got heat index values pushing 100 or higher than that, 105 for many locations from Kansas City and southward. So
Deja, thank you. Coming up in less than 2 hours, class will be back in session for a lot of students in the Olathe School District. Elementary school students, 6th graders, and 9th graders all go back for a half day today.
Class starts at 7:50 for 6th graders, 8 for high school freshmen, 8:20 for elementary kids. This year, the district has new transportation policies because we talked a lot about the issues they face with the bus driver shortage. Transportation free for students who live 2.5 miles or more away from school, and for students who qualify for the federal free and reduced lunch program. For other elementary students who live between 1 and 2.5 miles from school, they're facing a pay ride option.
Other districts also working to make sure there are enough drivers to get students to and from school every day. One parent in Lee Summit School District hopes there will be more because there were issues last school year.
It took him about an hour to get home when he did ride the bus, just because there was just not enough bus drivers.
That mom telling us she was hoping for just half an hour this year is what the goal is. District leaders in Lee Summit tell us they saw improvement. They're almost fully staffed, but they have to battle other districts for their drivers. One thing they credit for bringing drivers in, they say, is higher pay in that district from a levy transfer voted in April.
And with other local kids getting ready to go back to school, 3 local organizations are partnering to provide school supplies to over 300 kids.
Yeah, that event being held by the Guadalupe Center's Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Kansas City and Mattie Rhodes, specifically wanting to serve the west side neighborhood of KCMO. The supplies will be given out at the Guadalupe Center on Bellevue Avenue at 4 o'clock this afternoon. A really great event. And again, 300 kids getting a full round of school supplies to get ready for their school year. All right, 6:35 on your Friday morning. This morning we're highlighting an issue that impacts people you might not always hear from on the news because we're going out to Blue Springs. We don't go there too often.
Right now the city doesn't have a public pool, but they're working on a new water park that's going to solve that. Let's get to KSHB's Claire Bradshaw joining us live from Blue Springs.
Working.
Claire, they're already working. This isn't just a pool. She was like, they're digging the lazy river. This is going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So let's take a look. The crews are out here. I put on my hard hat, my reflective vest yesterday, and walked into the construction site. I got a tour. So if you take a look at your screen, you're going to see the rough cutout of the park. This is what they have so far. They still have a ways to go to make this look like a water park. The biggest feat so far, I was told, was putting in all that underground plumbing. That's something we probably weren't thinking about when it comes to building a water park. Parks and Rec Director Dennis Doval says the city took public comment into consideration when working with the design team.
They gave us great leadership and gave us great direction of trends that are happening in aquatics so that we could plan for things that would be kind of timeless and make our residents have something that could last for a long time.
So if you take a look at your screen now, this is one of those final renderings for the park. This is what the surf simulator will look like. It'll be inflatable, so if you can't hang 10, you'll fall into soft cushioning. All of this is on track to be completed by the spring of next year, just in time for next summer. There's going to be an indoor portion and outdoor portion, so this will be year-round use, and it's going to be connected to the Blue Springs Fieldhouse. Live in Blue Springs, I'm Claire Bradshaw, KSHB 41 News.
We were picking out. Is that a screen?
Is that a place for parents to sit and watch and not doing anything while their kids are going? I love every bit of it. Can't wait. That's going to be great.
Thank you, Claire.
Claire, thank you so much. Not clear if Gates Barbecue on State Line Road will be open this morning because of a fire overnight.
Yeah, still to come at 6:46. We're going to go over what we know about that. And the Biden administration is asking Congress to approve another $40 billion aid package. At 6:45, breaking down what's in that package.
Next, though, at 6:40, we'll get an update on the latest on the deadly wildfires burning in Hawaii. The death toll has risen once again. 6:40 on your Friday morning. We got just an awful update this morning. Officials in Hawaii say the death toll from those wildfires in Maui now at 55 people, and they still expect that number to climb.
Look at this video showing some of these. There's such
awful,
intense footage of this fires, and now they say it's 80% contained, but officials say more than 1,000 buildings and homes are destroyed. Look at the smoke coming off of these. President Joe Biden declared Hawaii a disaster area, prompting that more federal aid response, and many people in shelter shelters there. The Hawaii governor says the wildfire crisis will likely become the deadliest natural disaster in the state's history.
Unbelievable.
Thunderstorms moving into our area later this evening. Here's 10 p.m. close to the city. Break it down for you, let you know what our severe weather hazards are with these next.
Plus, it's the start of a new school year for Olathe Public Schools, and this also includes the start of their new transportation plan. Details coming up.
And Fairway's fallen officer will be honored tonight.
Yeah, we'll have details on remembrance services for Jonah Oswald next at 6:44.
And all of us in this community are just really shaken.
So many people in this neighborhood are so upset. And he leaves behind 2 young children and his wife. It just broke my heart. So I had to do something.
The people you just heard from, all just some of the community mourning the loss of a Fairway police officer who died in the line of duty.
So formal remembrance services for Officer Jonah Oswald will start tonight and extend through early next week. Starting at 7:30 this evening, a parade of police vehicles will ride down Metcalf Avenue in OP and then head to Harmon Park in Prairie Village. There will be a candlelight vigil for Officer Oswald at Harmon Park tonight, and that's expected to start around 9 o'clock. Then on Sunday, there'll be a visitation from 5 to 8 p.m. at Westside Family Church. The memorial service will be Monday morning at 11 at that same location.
If you want to help support Oswald's loved ones, you can donate at Price Shoppers all over Kansas City. The company says all donations will go to the officer's family. The Public Safety Credit Union also has this online portal for the officer. You can donate through Venmo, PayPal, in person. Just add the memo, Oswald Family Fund. We have a link to do that at KSHB.com.
All right, let's get to some of the top stories we're following on your Friday morning, starting with the first day of class for some students in Olathe. Class starts at 7:50 for 6th graders, 8 for high school freshmen, and 8:20 for elementary school students. Coming up in just a few minutes, our Danielle Leone going over what might be different this year in Olathe for those students.
And it's not clear if the 103rd and State Line Gates Barbecue is going to open today. They had a fire overnight. A battalion chief tells us the fire was in the kitchen when they got there around midnight. Nobody was hurt, fortunately. We'll keep checking.
A federal judge will hear arguments about evidence disclosure in the election conspiracy case against former President Donald Trump today. Prosecutors seeking a protective order to prevent Trump from sharing information about the case on social media. They want certain court documents to only be shared with Trump's legal team or witnesses approved by the court. Trump's team is seeking a more limited order.
The Biden administration is asking Congress to approve another $40 billion aid package. Most of the funds go to the defense and humanitarian needs for Ukraine. Some of the money would also be used to replenish federal disaster funds here at home.
Here's your latest Kansas City forecast from meteorologist Lindsay Anderson.
All right, everyone, 6:46 on this Friday.
Deja, thank you. Big day today. Olathe is the first in a long line of back-to-school first days today.
Yeah, that's right. They've got a lot going on. They'd have some new things this school year that we went to go see. We're going in-depth this morning on what that includes.
We'll start with buses. Danielle Leone joins us live now from Olathe Northwest High School. Danielle, good morning. We talked a lot at the end of last year about how they were addressing a shortage of drivers, what might be possible. What changes are in place this year to get students to and from these campuses?
Hey, good morning, Taylor and Lindsay. Well, it's the first day of school for freshmen here at Olathe Public Schools. Take a look at your screen. Here are some of the changes that will be taking place when it comes to transportation. According to the district, students who live less than 2.5 miles from school no longer have free bus service, but kids who live more than 2.5 miles away from their school are eligible to take the bus to school for free. Now, students enrolled in free and reduced lunch programs also have this service, and there is a pay ride option for elementary age students who live between 1 to 2.5 miles away from school. Now, earlier this year, as you guys may remember, the district did have to make some cuts when it came to school bus routes. We're waiting to see if additional changes will take place as the school year goes on. Reporting in Olathe, Kansas, Danielle Leone, KSHB 41 News. Back to you.
I mean, 2.5 miles, we're just talking about that. That can be quite a walk, right?
You have short legs.
Right. Daniela, also new this school year for some Olathe schools, classroom door security devices. It's a sad reality, right?
Yeah.
What prompted this?
Yeah.
It's a sad reality, and I'll be completely honest. It was really jarring for me because I went to school, a couple years ago, and I didn't have this. But take a look at your screen. Here's what these devices look like. They're called NILOG devices, and they can be found next to each classroom door within the district. So whenever there's a lockdown, if someone were to get in, these devices will be placed behind classroom doors and act as a barricade. I talked to teachers who told us these devices give them peace of mind and simply make safety a top priority for them and their students.
Safety for our school district is at the top of our priorities. Like, with students come to school to learn, but in order to learn, they need to feel safe. And so we want to ensure that our students feel safe, that our families feel safe sending their students to school, and that our teachers feel safe so we can have the most effective learning environment and best school year that we can have.
And the devices were paid for by the district's 2022 bond dollars. Once again, reporting in Olathe, Kansas, Danielle Leone, KSHB 41 News.
And those devices, thank you, Danielle, seemed easy and quick.
Yes.
Wow. All right, the Olathe School District also welcoming students back to school with the Broadway version of Disney's Frozen. This is really neat. They actually won a national competition to get to bring you this show.
Pretty cool. KSHB 41 reporter Elise Schoenig learned how they're showing us love is an open door.
It's high.
It's a Disney story known for breaking the mold.
Once we get here, we can really make the magic happen.
And these students hold the clay.
When you are so excited and so passionate about something like that, it doesn't really feel like hard work. I'm just having fun and doing what I love, so.
Genevieve and Sydney, known here as Elsa and Anna, found more than just lead roles here. They found...
We get along. We vibe. We do.
Friendship. It's how the Olathe School District won a national competition.
It's a labor of love.
Director Edward Schaefer says they had to think of how to use the theme, Love is an Open Door.
Seeing the different schools come together and the camaraderie that they made is really kind of my payment, if you will.
The winning idea? An all-district musical.
I think it's really important that everyone understands that they're always welcome at anything.
Tyler and Cole are Olaf and Hans.
They've really showed that this show can bring people together.
Friends, on stage and off. In this show, the hero doesn't wear a cape or armor.
It breaks tradition, it breaks the mold, it shows, that you don't need a traditional knight in shining armor to save the day.
Right.
How do you think that idea has been applied and integrated with, students to even learn from during this production?
Once we realize and open ourselves up to bringing in more people, more diversity, different skill levels, different ages, you really see that, we're all one community, and when we all are working on something together.
In Olathe, Elise Schoenig, KSHB 41 News.
I love all the costumes.
It looks great. The cast has students from 51 schools in Olathe.
How great is that? This will run from August 16th to the 20th. It's at Olathe South High School.
Break a leg, all of you.
Yeah. All right, KSHB 41, you're home with the Chiefs. The team's going to be back at training camp today in St. Joe after they had the day off yesterday.
Yep.
Practice starts at 9:15. We're going to hear from head coach Andy Reid.
And if you make it out to practice today, you can get autographs from Chiefs linebackers. Also today, the team's last practice before they head to New Orleans for that first preseason game against the Saints on Sunday. Kickoff at noon on Sunday in New Orleans. You can watch the game right here on your home with the Chiefs, KSHB 41. We also have a live pregame show with Lindsay Shively and Deja Jones starting at 11 o'clock that morning. They're going to have a lot of fun. We even have a post-game show after. We've got you covered even during the preseason.
Me, Day, Mick, Mac. It's going to be a party. See you at 11. All right, 6:55 this morning. Here's something we want to show you just in case you missed it. The Ollie Gates of Gates Barbecue fame surprised with a special announcement.
We want to induct you into the Missouri Restaurant Association Hall of Fame.
Yay! Missouri Restaurant Association Hall of Fame, an honor well-deserved. Members of the association broke the news to Gates yesterday. At 91 years young, Gates continues to leave a lasting legacy on barbecue in Kansas City as a whole. That's great. Love that. Gates will also be recognized in February next year at their gala. So
my only question about that is how was he not already in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
I mean, he could have been in the Hall of Fame 40 years ago, honestly. So that's pretty incredible. Glad, better late than never.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Finally. I know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Guys, thunderstorms in the forecast today. Here's how the timeline shapes up. Between now and 5 o'clock this evening, it's sunny, hot, and humid. We have heat index values in those triple digits. Heat advisories for a few of us, too, south of the Missouri River. Between 5 and 11, that's the window I want you to be aware of severe storms developing, hail, wind, heavy rain. Those are our biggest hazards here, and they will be moving through the city at some point within that time frame. Still a little uncertain on the exact kind of location that these storms pop up or they develop, so it's one of those evenings that you just have to keep yourself updated on radar, and of course right here on KSHB as we'll be tracking.
Cards Royals
There's a baseball game tonight. Yeah,
I know.
Watching.
I've been reminded all week long. So
the Cards are in town.
We've got this. We've got to get this game in.
Oh my goodness. Well, traffic looks good as of right now.
Except for?
Except for.
Oh, we got the spot cleaned up from earlier.
Yes,
okay,
but also except for I-35 southbound. You're right. There's congestion there.
All right, we've got another hour of local news coming up on 38 The Spot, or you can keep it right here for the Today Show.